YouTube, what's up? This is your boy DJ Troy in the building. It's been a whole month and a half and I haven't been able to record any videos or do anything because I've just been busy. And the same thing that I always preach, take care of priorities. Well, for the past month and a half, I've had a lot of priorities to take care of, things with my family, so I haven't been able to say all my videos and do all my talking and everything. But, I thank all my subscribers, all my fans, whether you're in Thailand, Japan, wherever you at, continue to support your boy DJ Troy. And I hope everybody continue to share my videos, like it, and give me the support that I need. Okay? All right. So let's get into it, the trending topics. Okay, so politically, in the United States of America, President Netanyahu from Israel came to speak to the United States Congress. And the President of the United States wasn't really supportive of that decision because Netanyahu was here to speak about the situation with, Iran and the whole nuclear arms movement. Why is this important? This is important because what happens around the world, whether you are in Thailand, whether you are in Afghanistan, whether you are all the way in Alaska, what happens to the world eventually affects you. Okay, it's a global market. This idea that we are just one country who is sovereign and whatever we do doesn't affect the next man. It doesn't happen that way. So just wanted to give you guys, one of the biggest political, topics right now. Moving on to Miss Hillary Clinton. Apparently, Hillary Clinton has been using our own personal emails to talk to the government. What that basically means is that once you're elected to certain office in the United States of America, you get a specific email that's encrypted, that's not, public like a Gmail or a Yahoo account. But Hillary Clinton has been using our own, public account, that is private to her. And, that could pose a huge security risk because if that email gets hacked, okay, there's no telling the amount of information that we could find or the world could find. And, I hope that, whatever email she's been using, it's been thoroughly secured. And that's that. Moving on to Mr. Clinton. There was a portrait being painted of him. And in the back of that portrait, you see there's a black shadow. And skeptics always wanted to know what was that shadow all about. It so happens that we found out that that shadow is the dress that Monica Lewinsky wore during that big Clinton era sex scandal. And the artist that painted the picture said, listen, there's just no telling, what that shadow really means. But what I would say is that it shows that this is the shadow of the woman that Bill Clinton that's had sexual relationships with. And it will always cast a shadow on his presidency. There's no talking about Bill Clinton without talking about Monica Lewinsky because it was so crazy back then that scandal could have made him be impeached. So, it just shows you that what you do in life forever follows you all around. Moving on to the wonderful, wonderful world of sports. So I don't know if you guys recently saw, the basketball game with Tim Hardaway, the Houston Rockets versus the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James. So apparently, during a scuffle and bustle on the floor, Tim Hardaway kicked LeBron James and he was suspended for 1 game. Now, I don't know if that suspension was really warranted because right now it's, you know, it's in the heat of the moment. You know, people are trying to win, okay? And LeBron James is not an easy, you know, opponent. LeBron James is one of the most fiercest, most dangerous, you know, players in the world. So, you know, I think Hardaway just, you know, give off a kick, and that was that. You know, it's just like trying to, you know, move your foot or whatever, and they shouldn't have suspended him. But it's 1 game suspension. Hopefully it doesn't put a stain on, you know, the Houston Rockets glory that they're going through right now, because the only person that they have to really fend off, okay, is that boy Tim Curry. And while we at it, I know that the NBA finals or, you know, aren't until June or something like that, but I'm gonna tell you, with what's going on right now, I could tell you that it's going to be a team in the West that's going to win that championship. I'm sorry, the East doesn't have that fire. The West is where it's at. Okay, the West is going to take the NBA championship this year. And there's no doubt that that's going to happen. And you could bet me on that. Moving on to more sports. Well, of course, there's this big boxing championship that's coming up. Manny Pacquiao and, of course, Mr. Floyd Mayweather. And who we hear talking now? Mr. 50 Cent. As you guys could all remember, 50 Cent gave, you know, Floyd Mayweather the reading challenge. And then the Breakfast Club released the tape of his reading struggles. And it was just terrible. It was just bad. Okay? Now, 50 Cent is saying that he's going to bet 160 million cents on, you know, Floyd Mayweather. Okay? And what that adds up to is $1.6 million. He made that announcement on the Breakfast Club, one of the most popular hip-hop morning, you know, radio shows in the country. So I don't think that 50 Cent and, you know, Floyd Mayweather is, you know, back on good terms, but I know that him betting that amount of money on Floyd Mayweather is going to be crazy. All right. So moving on, okay, to reality shows. I'm trying to get to it. There's a lot. Okay. Moving on to reality shows. Well, right now, the hottest reality shows in America is, of course, The Bachelor, okay? And I don't know if, you know, where you guys are in Thailand, if you guys are seeing the latest episodes or whatever. But right now, on The Bachelor, there's been a huge shakeup. Last Monday was the Women Tell All, and it was a very crazy situation where, you know, I call him Farmer Guy, basically sent home, you know, one of the women that had the most chemistry that we could see, okay? And it was just awful, you know, to see that, you know, The Bachelor sent home somebody that, you know, really was there for him, but at the same time, too, he was like, he wasn't sure he was in love with all the women. But, you know, tomato, you know, the girl that he sent home is going to be the next bachelorette. And that is that. And we move on from there. Finally, we move on to movies. Movies. Of course, the number one movie that's being played right now is, of course, Mr. Will Smith's Focus. Why is Focus so important? Why is it so critical? It is to show that Black actors have range. It's been recently reported that they created this hashtag called Oscar So White, and it's basically reflecting what's going on in the Academy Awards world, where most of the people who were nominated, probably majority of the people who were nominated were all white. Okay, the only person that won an Oscar, this year that I saw that was black was the two musicians. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going on, but Will Smith coming out with Focus shows that black actors have range and, they could, be more inclusive in this movement of, acting. And it's just terrible to see that, after so many years, Oscar is so white. Okay, so let's go out there, support Mr. Will Smith, support African American art. And it's not a race thing. It's just to say that, hey, listen, one actor is not better than the other. It's only based on talent, not on color. Okay, so somebody shouldn't get an Academy Award based on their color. Okay, not to say that, whoever won the Academy Awards this year didn't deserve it, but we need more inclusion in that whole, perspective. Okay. Finally, closing topics. As you guys may not know, Jamaica, the country of Jamaica, have the highest incidence of, I don't want to call it, child pedophiles or whatever, because it's a different culture in how people look at sex, where, little girls are sleeping with grown men. And in America, those things are looked at as rape. Okay. But in Jamaica, it might not be looked as such. If a young girl agrees to have sex with an older gentleman, on the books, it might be rape, but culturally, they don't look at it as rape. And it's something that, no one knows how to really tackle, because it's so ingrained in the culture that it's okay for an older gentleman to sleep with maybe a school-age girl, and it goes on. Mother approve, father approve, everybody's happy with it, So it's not worldwide. It's not to say that this happens throughout the island or everybody agrees with it, but culturally, it's more of a norm. And I brought up this to just say that, if you're watching this video from Jamaica, I want you to be able to help curve this, because recently a young girl was killed, 14 years old, by an older gentleman. She was killed because she was sleeping with this older gentleman, and it was a very sad situation. The 14-year-old apparently told the guy that she was pregnant, and he snapped and he killed her. 14-year-olds, it is totally wrong. So I don't know what my little video here could do to change the world, but what I do know is that if one person from Jamaica sees this video and decides that, okay, myself as a man, or my brother or my sister or my uncle, I'm going to tell them, don't have sex with the little girls. Let them grow up to be women, and then anything could play. And one person decides that they're against sleeping with children, okay, then I know that will completely help to curve, at least change the world. Because we see on multiple occasions, for better or good, one person's actions could completely revolutionize the world. So let's start the campaign. Let the children grow in Jamaica. Okay? Let the children grow. All right? So with that said, I always remind my people that it's critical that you take care of what's important to you. Your family is important. And at the end of the day, the television shows, the actors, the movies, the politicians, they're all going to fade away, you know, and new people are going to come in. But at the end of the day, you're always going to have one family. It's only one family you're born into. It's only one family you have. So do your best to do right by them. And as usual, have a blessed day. This is your boy, DJ Troy. Peace out. Much love and respect. Bye-bye.